Welcome back. If you just joined us to watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. Our eyewitness reporters are sending in reports from across the country. Let's begin with this one from Ibadan-Ogbomosho Expressway in Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, showing an overloaded truck carrying people. This is quite dangerous, as observed by eyewitness reporter, as people could fall off if the vehicle bumps into a pothole or stops suddenly. Next is this photo from Owo in Ondo State, showing people whom our eyewitness reporter says are resident doctors protesting after they were allegedly ejected from their lounge by management of the hospital. They're appealing to the relevant government agencies to intervene. Similar to that is this photo from Okene in Kogi State, showing people whom our eyewitness reporter says are artisans protesting an alleged legal arrest of their members by the police. They're calling on the police authorities to stop the unwarranted arrests. Our next report is from Badaria in Burning Kebbi area of Kebbi State, showing this image of a bad road our eyewitness reporter says has been abandoned. He's calling on the state government to help them fix the road. Thank you for sending in those pictures, and know that you too can become an eyewitness reporter for Channels Television. Let's go now to Abuja, where Gloria Omezoke is standing by with Senator Lanre Tejuosho. Hello, Gloria.
Well, thank you, Amarachi, and welcome to Abuja. I'm now being joined by Senator Lanre Tejuosho. You're welcome to the news at 10.
Good evening, Gloria.
Well, you have seen the last report on lawmakers' allowances. Could you tell Nigerians in very clear terms how much you earn?
Well, first of all, I am new in the Senate, and I was presented with a salary of 1.4 million naira per month. That was what my salary was supposed to be, and that's what I think it is. And of course, in addition to that, we are told we are going to have allowances. And the allowances are supposed to be to run our constituency offices. For example, I am supposed to be running 6 offices because I represent 6 local governments. A senator that wants to really do well must at least have a functional office in each local government that he represents. That's 6 offices. Of course, our oversight function, which is supposed to be really what Nigeria needs now, we are supposed to fund that ourselves, because if the oversight functions, if they've been done the way we should have it, we wouldn't be having our president going to America and they'll be telling him there how much a minister is keeping away somewhere. There must have been some oversight done in the last 4 years. So how come we were not told that such monies were going out of the country? So I believe if you want a senator to function properly, and you don't want a senator to go to a parastatal and they will be tempting them with funds because they're going to fund their hotel accommodation, their transportation, the staff they bring along. A senator should go to a parastatal for his oversight function without any input financially from the ministries or the parastatals.
You see, but considering the economic factors such as GDP per capita income, can you justify comparatively the lavish salaries and allowances lawmakers receive, the ones we see outside in the country?
Well, in the wisdom of the institution that was established to determine the remunerations of Nigerian government public officers, the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Fiscal Commission, they are the ones that set all these figures. So they are the ones really that we should be asking what is the purpose and how do they come about these figures. So it's not the senators setting these figures themselves. I mean, that's what we met. And for the past 5 years, the annual budget of the Senate, of the Assembly, has been 150 billion per annum every year. This is the first time in 5 years that it will be reduced to 120 billion. That's 30 billion back into the treasury. So I believe we've started. And even all the noise now about the senators not interested in reducing their salaries, I mean, I'm surprised because I was in the closed session on that day. If the Senate was not interested in reducing. They would have formed another committee to go into that in particular. That was one of the committees that was set up.
I was actually coming to that because, of course, the president and vice president showed interest in reducing their pay cut, well, about 50%. And many, of course, are wondering why lawmakers didn't toe that line.
Yeah, we even proposed to do more than that. For example, they were making so much noise about wardrobe allowance. Wardrobe allowance is 42,000 naira per month. So for God's sake, I mean, 42,000 naira is not what we cannot not even forgo. And to reduce the salary by 50%, of course, that is not a problem. But as lawmakers, along the line of discussion, we realized that it was not our duty. Because even if we say we want to reduce it, the Revenue Mobilization and Allocation and Fiscal Commission, they are the ones to tell us what to do concerning reduction. We can just suggest.
If you had your way, you go beyond 50% cut?
Of course, I mean, look, definitely, this is the time everybody must sacrifice for Nigeria's sake. So if it is more than 50%, so be it. I mean, because, I mean, we are not here because of the salary.
What do you as a senator propose? How much pay cut?
Well, I believe the minimum should be what the president and the vice president, what they've done. That should be the minimum that the senators should agree to reduce. So, and I'm sure it was stepped down for us to do the things properly. So it's not as if it's a conclusive meeting we had.
Looking at the breakdown of lawmakers' remunerations provided by the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, it does appear that some lawmakers are simply extravagant. You know, the allowances such as recess, wardrobe, entertainment, newspapers. Are you still in line with that? Do you think it's rather extravagant?
Well, 1.4 million naira per month to run your office as a senator. For example, out of that you have newspaper allowance, which is about 25,000 naira per month. That's about 800 naira a day. So look at how much you spend on newspapers every day for your office. If you don't read all the newspapers or your office doesn't read it, your legislative aid, they don't have access to newspapers, how do you know what's going on in the country? And, you know, there are basic things that you need to have. Out of the 1.4 million, you have about 332,000 naira supposed to be for housing allowance a month, which comes to about close to about 3.8 million per annum. I mean, in Abuja, definitely, if you want to rent an apartment, you know that you can't get anything less than 5-6 million naira. So I believe, I mean, it's just because of the times now that we are in, and all what is happening now has been happening for the past 5 years. It's just because of the situation that we have found ourselves now.
Senator Larry Ted, you have managed to assuage some fears by saying that the Senate and National Assembly should actually have a pay cut of 50%, tailing the president and vice president.
Right.
Thank you very much for coming on the news at 10.
Thank you.
Well, that's it from Abuja. It's over to you, Amarachi.
Thanks a lot, Gloria. Gloria Mezoke with Senator Ted Lanre in Abuja. Now, the People's Democratic Party in Anambra State has demanded that Governor Willie Obiano present the statement of account of all income and expenditure of the 21 local government areas from inception of his administration. The demand made by the state's chairman of the PDP in Anambra, Mr. Ken Emekai, in a press briefing in Awka, also requested the governor make public the total contract sum for the overhead bridge and flyover projects embarked upon by his administration in 2014. The All Progressive Grand Alliance is not taking the allegations lying low. The party has described the PDP's inquisition as a distraction to the governor.
These are members of the People's Democratic Party in Awka, Anambra State. They are here to discuss and read out an open letter that will be presented to Governor Willie Obiano. One of the main focus of the letter is the running of local governments in the state. They are demanding that the governor gives details of money spent and revenue that comes into state's coffers.
We have noted with dismay that the local government system in Anambra State has become non-functional and redundant under your watch, with no new projects, while the projects hitherto initiated by the Pt.2 administration have all been abandoned. We demand a statement of account showing income and expenditure of all the 21 local government areas in Anambra State from the inception of your administration. We humbly and respectfully, sir, demand to know the total contract sum of the overhead bridge and flyover projects embarked upon by the Governor Willie Obiano administration at Awka.
The leadership of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, however, thinks the PDP has chosen to ridicule the role of opposition in what they describe as a healthy democracy.
I have told them, thanks to that number, that they should look elsewhere because Anambra is in safe hands with the APGA government. It does not lie in the amount to demand. Is the state under probe? Are they EFCC or ICPC or what are they that they should demand from the sitting governor? Give them an account in their capacity as what? As factional PDP or as main PDP or as what?
For some time now, there have been accusations and counter-accusations between the political parties in Anambra State. The issues raised by the PDP borders on accountability in the running of government affairs. But what is more important is just how would the ordinary people of the state benefit from this current battle of the wits.
The Nigeria Labour Congress says the crisis rocking its leadership has finally come to an end. This was announced in Abuja by a former president of the Congress and governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole. He said both factions have agreed to work together, while a committee of 7 officials has been created to ensure that the NLC is run on the basis of inclusion.
We are all resolved to work together to rebuild peace, unity, and to work to restore old collegiality and guide our rank and file in the branches, in the state councils to ensure that NSC remain one and the same, across both vertically and horizontally. Having reflected on all of this, we agree that going forward, that we have a committee of 7 persons, which would be drawn from 3 from each shade of opinion within the NSC family, and our founding president, Comrade Hassan Sumonu, we provide leadership for this committee of 7, and they will meet and ensure that NSC is run on the basis of inclusion and not exclusion. And they will help the leaders of the Congress to operate in such a way that everybody will have a sense of belonging.
Edo State's governor and former president of the NLC, Adams Oshomole. In the meantime, the national deputy president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Achese Igwe, has dismissed reports that Comrade Ayuba Waba held in Abuja. He says at no time that the 2 factions agreed to make Comrade Waba the consensus president of the NLC. A statement signed by the Comrade Igwe says the resolution reached at that meeting says 7 people, 3 from each group, as well as the head, should formulate modalities to run a unity congress that would be all-inclusive. When the news at 10 returns, our big story tonight looks at the plight of the internally displaced persons in Bakassi. Please join us again.